You're floating in space, nearly 500 million miles from home, and right in front of you is the largest planet in our solar system, Jupiter. A planet so massive it could swallow 1,300 Earths. A planet with no solid surface. Winds nearly twice as fast as the strongest hurricanes on Earth, and a storm that's been raging for over 350 years. Now here's the question nobody asked, but everyone secretly wants to know. What would actually happen if you fell in? Not in a spacecraft, not in a simulation, just you, your body, falling into Jupiter. Today we're going to walk through every single second of that fall, layer by layer, and I promise you, it gets way worse than you think. Let's go, journey to the core. Okay, before we throw you into a gas giant, let's actually understand what Jupiter is. Because this isn't just a big planet, this is a monster. Jupiter is nearly 87,000 miles across. That's 11 Earths wide. Its mass, 318 times that of Earth. In fact, Jupiter is 2.5 times more massive than every other planet in the solar system combined. But here's what makes this thought experiment truly terrifying. Jupiter has no surface. There's no ground, no landing spot, no bottom the way we understand it. It's essentially a ball of gas and liquid that just gets denser and denser and denser the deeper you go. So if you fell in, you wouldn't crash, you wouldn't land, you would just keep sinking, deeper and deeper, until the planet literally crushed you out of existence. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start from the very top. Imagine you've been dropped from a spacecraft in orbit around Jupiter. You're about 300 miles above the cloud tops, and you're falling. Jupiter's gravity is 2.4 times stronger than Earth's, so you're accelerating fast, way faster than a skydive on Earth. On our planet, you'd max out around 120 miles per hour in freefall. Here, you'd hit the upper atmosphere at over 100,000 miles per hour. Yeah, over 100,000 miles per hour, faster than any object humans have ever built. And the first thing you'd notice, before you even hit the atmosphere, radiation. Jupiter has the most intense radiation belts of any planet in the solar system, charged particles trapped by its enormous magnetic field, which by the way is the strongest of any planet in our solar system, thousands of times more powerful than Earth's. In the most intense zones of these radiation belts, near the orbit of Jupiter's moon Io, you'd receive around 36 sieverts of radiation per day. For context, just 6 sieverts is enough to kill a human, so technically, you'd be exposed to lethal radiation before you even reach the clouds. But let's keep going, because it gets so much worse. You hit the upper atmosphere, and the first thing that greets you? Ammonia clouds. At an altitude of about 30 miles above the main cloud deck, the temperature here? Around minus 230 degrees Fahrenheit. Cold enough to flash freeze your body. Your blood would crystallize. Your skin would become brittle as glass, but you're still falling. And you're about to enter the most violent weather system in the known solar system. Jupiter's winds reach up to 400 miles per hour. That's nearly twice the speed of the strongest hurricanes on Earth. These winds blow in alternating bands, east, then west, then east again, creating those iconic stripes you see from space. And right now, you're being ripped through them like a rag doll. You'd be spinning uncontrollably. Your spacesuit? Shredded by ammonia ice crystals and the sheer force of the wind. Within these clouds, visibility drops to 0. It's completely dark. You can't see your hand in front of your face. And those lightning flashes? Some of Jupiter's superbolts are estimated to be up to 1,000 times more powerful than typical lightning on Earth. And they carry enormous amounts of raw energy. You're 3 minutes into your fall, and already you've been irradiated, frozen, battered by hurricane-force winds, and electrocuted by alien lightning. But we're not even close to the terrifying part yet. As you fall deeper, about 75 miles below the cloud tops, something changes. The atmosphere is getting thicker, denser. You can feel it. The atmospheric pressure is now around 10 times that of Earth's surface. Imagine the weight of a column of water 300 feet deep, pressing on every square inch of your body. And the temperature? It's climbing fast. Remember those minus 230 degrees at the top? Down here, it's already 70 degrees Fahrenheit, almost room temperature. Funny, right? There's a brief moment during your descent through Jupiter where the temperature is actually comfortable, a thin layer where it's basically a spring day, except you're surrounded by crushing darkness, in an atmosphere of hydrogen and helium with no oxygen, and the pressure is about to multiply exponentially. This comfortable zone doesn't last long. As you keep falling, and you are still falling at a terrifying speed, the temperature rockets upward. Deeper down, the temperature climbs past 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot enough to melt steel. Your body would have been vaporized long before this point. Every molecule that once made up your bones, your skin, your organs, scattered into Jupiter's atmosphere like dust. But let's say, hypothetically, we put you in an indestructible box, something that can withstand anything. Because what happens next is where Jupiter goes from terrifying to absolutely mind-breaking. At around 13,000 miles below the cloud tops, something extraordinary happens, something that exists nowhere else we can easily study in the solar system. The pressure reaches approximately 2 million times Earth's atmospheric pressure, and at this point, hydrogen, the lightest, simplest element in the universe, does something incredible. It becomes a metal, metallic hydrogen. It's a liquid that conducts electricity like copper, it shimmers like mercury, and it makes up most of Jupiter's interior. We're talking about a layer that's potentially 30,000 miles deep. You would be sinking through an ocean of liquid metal, no up, no down that you can perceive, just infinite, crushing, electrically conducting fluid in every direction. The pressure here is so extreme that the atoms themselves are being restructured. The temperature? Over 18,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That's nearly twice as hot as the surface of the sun. And this metallic hydrogen ocean? It's what generates Jupiter's insane magnetic field. Electric currents flowing through this conducting fluid create a magnetosphere so large that if you could see it from Earth, it would appear 5 times the size of the full moon in our sky. You've now been falling for hours, maybe days. We don't know exactly because no probe has ever gone this deep. The Galileo probe, the only spacecraft ever sent into Jupiter's atmosphere, lasted only 58 minutes before being destroyed at just 95 miles deep. You're over 130 times deeper than that probe ever reached, and you're still not at the bottom. At the very center of Jupiter, roughly 43,000 miles below where you started, lies the core. And here's the thing, we're not entirely sure what it is. For decades, scientists assumed Jupiter had a solid rocky core, maybe 10 to 20 times the mass of Earth, compressed into a space smaller than our planet. But data from NASA's Juno mission suggests something even stranger. The core might be fuzzy, a diluted mix of rock, ice, hydrogen, and helium, not a hard boundary, but a gradual transition from liquid metal to something even denser. The temperature at the core? An estimated 43,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The pressure? Estimates go up to 100 million times the air pressure on Earth's surface. At this point, even the atoms that once made up your body would be unrecognizable, electrons stripped away, nuclei pressed together. You wouldn't just be dead, you would be deconstructed at a fundamental level, reduced to a hot, compressed plasma, absorbed into the heart of a world that has been burning for over 4 billion years, long before Earth even had life. Here's what gets me about this thought experiment. Jupiter is made almost entirely of the same stuff as the Sun, hydrogen and helium. If it had been just 80 times more massive during its formation, it would have ignited nuclear fusion. It would have become a star. Our solar system would have been a binary star system. But it didn't. It stayed a planet, the biggest one we've got, a giant whose massive gravity influences the paths of asteroids and comets throughout the entire solar system. We will probably never send a human to Jupiter. We will certainly never send one into Jupiter. But the fact that we can sit here on our tiny pale blue dot and mathematically reconstruct every layer of this alien world, predict the pressures, the temperatures, the phase transitions of hydrogen into metal, that's not just science. That's one of the most remarkable things our species has ever done. If this video made you see Jupiter a little differently, hit that subscribe button. I've got more videos like this exploring the most extreme places in the universe. And trust me, some of them make Jupiter look friendly. I'll see you in the next one.